What's the one biggest thing that's stopping your weight loss progress right now? Of course, there's a lot of it, but there's one huge, probably biggest one that literally nobody talks about. We're going to cover that in this episode. And before we go there, click the subscribe button below, because on this channel, you're going to learn how to build a strong, healthy, high-performing body as a successful entrepreneur without starvation, without cardio, and without cutting out carbs and all the other BS that this industry tells you that you need to do. You don't. So click that button and let's go. What's up, everyone? This is Coach Amir from sevenfigurebody.com, and in today's video, we're going to talk about one of the things that I often, probably very commonly talk about more than anything else with my clients, and that is literally the number one reason that most people can't seem to lose weight and keep it off, and that is the concept of self-image. Now, what is self-image? It's simply a version, just like the name itself says. It's an image of you that you have in your mind, but most important here is it's your subconscious mind. So there are three parts of your personality: self-confidence, self-image, and self-esteem. Self-esteem is a huge one. I highly suggest you check it out. Check out Nathaniel Branden's 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem and all the other books that he's written. Very deep topic, very impactful. But in this one, we're going to talk about just self-image. So I highly suggest a book called Psycho-Cybernetics. This is the absolute Bible for, basically life Bible for everybody, that every Quran, Bible, whatever, holy book of life. That's what, this really is when it comes to how you feel about yourself and what results you get in life in all areas. So what is self-image? So self-image literally says, what is it that I see myself as? And this is true in how much money you make. If you make $5,000 a month, your self-image right now is $5,000 a month person. So if you want to make $50,000 a month, that will never happen until you elevate your self-image from the current to that next level. Same exact thing is true with losing weight and keeping it off. If somebody's been overweight for a very long time, several years or oftentimes decades or more, several decades, their current self-image, like I always say, if you're sleeping right now and somebody wakes you up like at 3 a.m., like woke up and somehow tells you that you need to have an image of yourself, like with closed eyes, if you're like imagining yourself seeing yourself in the mirror, that's the current self-image of you have. And if somebody woke you up at 3 a.m. and like you don't even know where you are, like what's going on, and you do that and you imagine it, that image is going to be the current picture of you, because that's literally how it works. Now, I always tell my clients, yes, you can get on my program 90 days from today. You're going to have, 20 to 30 pounds of actual body fat less. You will put several pounds of muscle. You'll be completely transformed. If somebody's very overweight from, let's say, or obese, 3 to 6 months, it's what's going to take to completely transform them. However, if they don't do this change of elevating their self-image to that next level, it doesn't matter what we do in the next 3 months. You're just going to go resort back to whatever you were before. Why? Because here's what in the book Psycho-Cybernetics, the author says, your self-image is literally like a limit, the ceiling of what you can accomplish. So if somebody's making $5,000 a month and they somehow magically start making $15,000, the first month they make $15,000, they'll be like, hey, but I'm the guy who makes $5K. So what do I do with this extra K? Quickly spend it, like right away, spend it. So they put in crypto, lose it. Buy a car, crash it. Do something so their money is gone. Why? And of course, somebody says, oh, that's so stupid. I would never do that. Really? Well, think about it this way. Every person who wins a lottery, what is the statistics? Like 97% of them, 3 years later, after they win millions and whatever amounts, they're back to where they were before that or worse, 3 years or less, after they won the lottery. Why is it? It's because they haven't done the work needed to become the person that makes $50 million. Same thing here, right? And of course, their self-image is like the ceiling that literally subconsciously sabotages you when you go over it for any reason. It's true, that kind of sabotages you when you go below it, which is good in this case, right? So somebody makes 5K, 1 month they start making 2K. Guess what? They found a way somehow to make that extra 3 so they go back to 5, because that's kind of the limiter. So it works both ways, right? So now, of course, you can say, well, really? Well, how come then all the people who were normal weight are now overweight? Simply because all of these systems have limits. And of course, if you keep overeating while not being aware of it, which is none of us is really until we start tracking, and then your activity is low, you just keep gaining weight, and your self-image is like, hey, but I'm, like 10 pounds overweight. Normally, that's my self-image, but now I'm 50. What's going on? Well, they're already in that bad cycle or negative cycle that leads them to just gaining more weight. And of course, can that be changed? Yeah, of course it can. But remember, as you're losing body fat and as you're getting in better shape, building muscle, anything positive that you're doing, building more, better business, making more money, being a better parent, better spouse, more compassionate person, anything in this improvement world that you're doing, if you're not backing it up with constant self-image elevation, it will all go back. It will not stick. Okay, so of course, your next $1 million question, of course, is how do I change my self-image? Well, the best way to answer that question is to realize that how did you build your self-image as is right now? How is it built? It's built by you putting inputs in your brain intentionally, and then if you do this ideally every morning and before going to bed, these are the 2 times of the day when your subconscious is the most susceptible to inputs. So you can write down, I am a lean, ripped person with 6-pack abs, and I do this 24/7, 365 forever. A positive statement. If you write that down or think it, even though I would suggest you do both. So the most important thing is not just writing it down like a robot while thinking about something else. You have to feel it. So feel like you're already there right now. And as you do that every morning and every night and very, very, very often, eventually you will find yourself, of course, if you back it up with action, you will find yourself having changed your identity, meaning your self-image in this regard, and you will absolutely keep it off forever. If you don't do that and do any of the things that you can do, a million things to lose weight, it will not stick. You will lose weight very short term, but what happens 6 months later? You'll be back to where you were before. So if you ever dieted before and you were like, I got in such great shape and then I went back and now I'm more overweight than I was before. Yes, of course, if you try some kind of very extreme or limiting or restrictive diet, of course, it's always going to fail. It doesn't matter what you do, and a bunch of other things that people are doing that are unsustainable. Of course, that's the number one reason. But the kind of mental part of that, which is always way more important than any physical things we do, is if you didn't elevate your self-image, which again, most people don't even talk about it. They don't know what it is. It's just like, just go exercise and diet. It's going to be fine. Yes, it will short term. But long term, it won't, because your self-image, again, your subconscious says what you should do, activities that you do that are beyond your conscious awareness, because it's your subconscious that has the self-image limit. So let's say, my self-image was, when I was a fat kid, I'm a 215 pound, 13-year-old. That was my self-image at the time. So for many years after that, I lost all the weight. I was a professional athlete. I had like these girls like running around like, oh, he's a national champion, whatever. And in my mind, I'm like, how do they all not see that I'm just a fat kid? I don't get it. Like, how do they not see? And, I look at my body, I'm like, okay, I look good. I have 6-pack abs and all, but I don't know how they all see that deep down, I'm just actually a fat kid. That's the thing with self-image. So please think about this and realize that every single thing in your life right now, that whatever results you're getting, that's your current level of self-image. In order to long-term go to the next level, you have to elevate the self-image. If you want to lose weight and keep it off, which is the way, way, way more important part than just losing weight, like just starve yourself, you don't eat anything, just do a marathon every day, like all these things that are unsustainable, you can just do that and lose weight, certainly, but are you going to keep it off? No, like your chances are 1 in 100 million that you will keep it off. You won't. So if you elevate your self-image, you will be able to do that. So, and remember guys, the way to do that is just by figuring out how you got your self-image that you have now, which is inputs from your parents, world around you. Basically, outside world created our self-image for the most part, which is pretty sad. But then again, you realize, hey, that's actually really freeing when I realize that I have control of what my self-image in any level of life, in any area of life is, and I can improve it. That's how, by the way, I went from a completely broke, barely could pay my bills for many years entrepreneur to now having a thriving business and pretty much living a dream life. That's how I went from being a fat kid who couldn't, walk up a couple of stairs without feeling like I'm going to pass out, to a professional athlete and yada, yada, and now a coach for, basically my whole life. So this is the way to elevate it. Write it down every morning and then think and feel it like that thing you wrote is already there. And please, one last thing I'm going to leave you with. Remember, your subconscious does not know the difference between negative or positive. It just focuses on whatever you give it. So the statements that you're making and thinking about cannot be negative. They can't be, I'm not fat. They can't be, I'm not broke. Because the only thing that your brain got is fat, fat, fat. Okay, broke. It's just going to reinforce that even more. So please remember, there's no such thing as your subconscious doesn't know whether you're thinking about good or bad. So it has to be positive, present, and personal. 3 P's. Positive, it's got to be positive. It can't be, I'm fat. I don't have, love handles. I don't have rolls around myself. You can't do that. You should put it in a positive. I have 6-pack abs. I have, all the energy. My, spouse loves when he sees me in a shower. Like, I look so great. I feel awesome when I show off at the beach. Positive things. Personal, it can't be, nobody else is judging me. Somebody else is not, no. Just you. It's about me. So write it in a positive, personal, and present. It can't be, one day I'm going to be in great shape. One day I'm going to be a millionaire. It's got to be now, this moment. Because if it's one day, your brain is like, okay, in the future, not now. Therefore, now he's going to be broke. In the future, never, he's going to be a millionaire or in great shape or whatever. So positive, personal, present. Write it out every morning, ideally every night too. And then think about it and feel it in that moment as if you already have it. This is going to be the game changer, I absolutely guarantee you. So guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click the like and share button below. Also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.